Whoa Woman Happy Family, and in my Mom Me group. This is Ann Kaplan with Mom Me, and I'm here to help you guys this week talking about being on the same page as your partner, parent alignment. What happens when we don't agree with the way that our parenting partner approaches parenting? It's a big deal. We've been talking about it all week. And what I want to do for you guys today is give you some do's and don'ts, what can you do about it, and what is actually the best thing to do to sabotage yourself. So I see all the time with my clients. So when we're not in alignment with our partners, what often happens, I see this happen all the time, and it takes one to know one, it happens to me too. When I see my parenting partner, or it doesn't even have to be my partner, it can be somebody like my mother-in-law or my mom or anybody in my family or outside of my family even, who is trying to parent my kids in a way that is not in alignment with how I want to parent my kids, or is not kind of towing the line when it comes to decisions that I've made about rules and things like that. My first response, and it's very common, most people's first response is to feel kind of almost threatened by that. Oh my gosh, the sanctity of my relationship with my child, the efforts that I'm putting in to raise my kids the way I want, the messages I'm trying to give my kid are threatened right now. And when we feel threatened, it's fight or flight, and especially when it comes to our kids. So when you're in fight or flight mode, especially when it comes to your kids, what happens? You start freaking out. You're not being level-headed. You're freaking out and being defensive about something that might not be that big of a deal. So these are my biggest tips for you guys, and do's and don'ts, to kind of avoid that and make it a little bit more effective. The first thing is, don't dictate to your partner how they are to be a parent, because this might be frustrating for you to hear, but every parent has an equal right to parent their kid the way they think, and have their views and ideas and all those things about parenting be heard. And as soon as you start dictating to your husband or your partner or whomever about how they have to behave or react in certain situations with their kid, you're instantaneously going to be losing an audience, okay? Because no parent wants to be told by anybody, including the other co-parent, how to parent, okay? I certainly don't want you coming and telling me how to parent. So I try not to do that with my husband, and it's a big deal. So my first don't for you guys is don't dictate to your partner. And the flip side of that is do lead by example. Make decisions for yourself about how you want to parent, and start doing that. And I promise you it happens almost every time, over and over again, I see with my clients. If you lead by example and your partner starts, first of all, seeing the results that you're getting, and second of all, it's becoming a part of their consciousness, how you react to certain situations, naturally that person is going to start incorporating those things or ask you about it or whatever. And I'm not just making this up. I have clients all the time who tell me when we have our monthly sessions, oh, I forgot to tell my husband about that we're going to do this uh-oh song, but after a few weeks I just heard him saying uh-oh to our kids too, and I never even told him to do that. It's going to be so much more effective if your partner decides on their own to come around to your way of thinking, and maybe they won't, and maybe they have something that you need to hear too, but that's why it's so much more effective to lead by example. Just like we say with our kids, quit parenting, start modeling. It works with adults too. Quit telling people what to do and just lead by example. Be a leader, be a role model. And if you need to set boundaries with your partner about what's going on, instead of saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, remember, don't dictate, set your own limits. Say what you will do. So with the screen time example I gave you guys on Tuesday between me and Mike, I just started saying what I will do for my kids. When they come and ask me for phones, when they come and ask me for screens, when they ask me to solve their problems with screen time, I just say, I don't share my electronics, sorry. I don't say, go ask your dad. I don't say anything else. And I don't say it's against the rules or any of that stuff, because it was causing so much more strife in our family, me and Mike fighting about screen time, than it would for my kids to be having the screen time that I don't want them to be having. So, say what you will do. Don't say what's going to happen with other people or try to tell your partner what to do. Just say what you will do. And the most important reason why I say what you will do is because 9 times out of 10, often, I hear this all the time, moms are super frustrated because they're trying this new parenting technique, whatever it is, and their partner has not gotten the memo. They're not doing it yet. And if we sit and talk a little bit more, it comes apparent that This mom never actually sat down and talked to the partner about, okay, let's try this new thing. Life is go, go, go when you have kids, and it happens all the time that you have this new idea, you've committed to something new, and you forgot to clue your partner in. So, so many problems with these disagreements about parenting are more either poor communication, miscommunication, or straight up no communication. I had a session last week with a client who was like, keep getting angry at my partner and then realizing like, oh, I forgot to tell him about to watch this video or whatever. So that's another reason why that say what you will do is huge, because you're not only setting your own boundaries without causing fights, without threatening someone else or bossing them around, you're also just straight up communicating and connecting with your parenting partner, which is really, really important. And I also would say when we're parenting in separate ways, like the screen time example, for example, the other person's way of parenting is going to have results that are different from your way of parenting. So when we're talking about parenting in two different modalities, or if you guys aren't on the same page, instead of fighting about it, instead of saying, oh, great, you said the kids could have dessert, and so now I have to deal with that? No, not at all. You can say to the kid who's coming up to you with a result or a consequence that's come from another parent's edict or dictation, saying, well, that sounds like a problem you need to solve with your dad, buddy, or that sounds like a problem you need to solve with whoever. So when my kids come to me with screen time issues, I just say, like, I don't share my electronics. Well, but so-and-so's watching this and so-and-so's watching that. And I just say, like, that sounds like a problem you guys need to work out with yourselves or with your dad, because I'm really not a part of the screen time thing. And because what is the biggest frustration, the reason why moms get super pissed all the time is because we're trying to do stuff with our kids, and then we feel like our partners aren't supporting us, we're getting undermined, and then what happens? Oh, great, now this problem becomes mine because you undermine me, you sabotage this effect. No, guys, if it's not your problem, if you didn't create that problem, don't take that on for yourself. Refer a parent's problem back to the parent. So those are my tips for you guys today. I know that this topic is huge and nuanced, and it's different for every family. I always try to give the most generalized and useful tips I can when I'm doing a public video like this. Hi, Sharon! But if you want one-on-one advice, if you're struggling with a parenting challenge that's more specific, or you feel like this isn't exactly helping you, reach out and ask me, because I love supporting you guys, and I'm happy to share more suggestions and work with you one-on-one. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to talk to you again. Next week, topics is breastfeeding, and not just for people who have tiny babies. So if you don't have a breastfeeding kid, I promise you there's something relevant in those videos. So stay tuned next week. We're going to be talking about weaning. We're going to be talking about extended breastfeeding. We're going to be talking about preparing for breastfeeding, all the stages of breastfeeding. So tune in next week, you guys, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.